almost can, my friends. Almost card at any number. What I mean by that is that you are going to miss. You're going to miss on purpose. But I think that in missing, you're actually going to hit because the proximity of the card is what's the true effect here. So what I mean by that is as follows. We're going to have a card picked, and in this case, controlled to the top of the deck. We're going to talk about how difficult it was as a magician to learn the skill of determining where the card is in the deck. It's a very difficult practice, but through meditation and hypnosis, you could actually do it. Now, we're going to have the participant try to do it, and we're going to see if they could actually intuit where their selected card is in the deck. Now, you want them to make their mind blank. You want them to just focus on where they think the card is in the deck. What number do they think that card lies in the deck? Now, of course, remember, it's on top of the deck. We've controlled it to the top, but here the participant is trying to intuit where the card is somewhere in the deck. Now here, it doesn't matter how we count down to the card as long as we're switching the actual card. So as long as we're counting them off one at a time and we're not counting them like this, it doesn't matter. So we could deal the cards on a table. We could count the cards off in our hand like this. It's not going to matter as long as we're counting them off one by one. Now at this point, let's say the participant says, for the sake of explanation, 11, right? So you go, you think your card is 11th. Do you want to change your mind to any other position? Do you want to change your mind maybe to 10 or maybe one more? You're good with 11. And of course, you're going to change accordingly to the participant. But if they stick with 11, you go, great. All right, so let's count down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that would be the 11th card. The 11th card, which happens to be the 9 of clubs. Was that the card you were thinking of? No? Okay. Well, it's really hard to do, as you can imagine. Let's see, had you maybe been one off. So had you picked 10, let's see. What was your card? Oh, the queen. Ah, you see that? Look how close you were. Look how close you were. And that's the overall effect. Now, it's not a direct hit, but I think, in my opinion, this is actually stronger because it's more realistic. They were off by 1. It's their first time trying to do this. So why be bang on? Now, what's great about this, again, is that you could do this dealing the cards on the table. So in dealing the cards on the table, you could definitely do this. You could have the cards dealt to the table. You could then pick them up. And all you're doing is just this reverse spread idea. So you're just reverse spreading the cards. As you draw attention to this one, you turn it over. And now the positioning of the cards has changed. But the participant isn't aware of that. In their minds, they assume that this is in chronological order. They assume that the cards are in the order that you counted them, which is counterintuitive because that's not the actual case. This would be the next card, technically. But to them, if you draw attention to this card and mention that this would be the 10th card, they have no choice but to trust you. So here you turn over this card and mention the Ace of Hearts. Was that the card you were thinking of, or is that the card you picked? They're going to say no, and you go, see, it's pretty hard. But let's see what would have happened had you said 10. So had you gone with 10, and that's, of course, your card, the participant is going to lose their mind, and they're going to freak out because of how close they were. Imagine, this could be any card at any number, and they were only off by 1 on their first try to intuit where that card is in the deck. I think that's pretty strong. Now, if you do choose to deal the cards on the table, what you're going to do is that you're just going to pick up the pile as a whole, and you're going to turn over the entire pile as you say, let's see what happened had you picked one number less. So had you picked the 10th card, and here you could turn over that pile and show that it is, in fact, the participant's selected card. So either way, you're going to be covered. It doesn't matter whether you want to do this in the hands or do this on a table. You're still going to be able to do it. And I love this. I really do. A lot of people are going to dismiss this because they want to be bang on. They want to hit it. I don't think so. I think when you are trying to establish the participant having a sort of power, and in this case, the power of intuition, which you could talk through your program, that it's something that you've developed and honed for years on end, that you give them the chance to do it, they're not going to be bang on. They've just tried this for the first time. So why would you want them to hit it? So one off is more realistic, and it's something that they can latch onto because technically it could have been any number that they called, and you give them multiple chances to change their mind. So don't sleep on this. Don't just dismiss this because you're not getting the card 100%. Try to do this and see that you're going to get a different reaction. You're going to get a more internalized reaction, but I think that that's more powerful than having this off-the-wall crazy reaction, having somebody run across a table. You're going to have a more introspective reaction, and one that's more aligned with realism because they're wondering, how did I almost get it? That's crazy. I was off by only 1. So I call that almost can. It's more of a concept than a trick, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nevertheless. Thank you guys for being members of the PigCake Piggybacker side, and I hope to see you on the next lesson.